The numbers are in, and Omid Scobie's Endgame is a flop. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signar, and I'm so lucky to announce the Queen is with us here today. P. Dina, welcome to the Palace, where we do our daily royalty. We gossip a bit more over here than we do on Popcorn Planet, but oh my goodness, so glad to have you back. If you missed our first video over on Popcorn Planet, we went into Meghan breaking her silence and wearing that King Charles bracelet. Ooh, what a manipulative SOB she is. But welcome, P. Dina. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
So honored to have you here, and I'm so excited to talk to you about, are you ready? Omid Scobie's book numbers are coming in. And he just got trolled by another author. Valentine Lowe, very famous royal author. He did this little snub. You ready? Congratulations to Omid Scobie, whose book Endgame sold 6,448 copies in the UK in its first week. That is almost as many as my book, Courtiers, which sold 6,520 in its first week. Yeah, look, none of these numbers are that good. Let's keep it honest, Dina, right? Yeah. Both of these numbers are bad. But even Valentine Lowe's putting out like, yep, you didn't do as well as you thought. Given the big publicity tour, given everything he's done, you would have thought this would be higher. And what's very interesting, as I was looking up, limited time offer $5.95. That is a huge discount to try to get these numbers up in this first week to help him. If you look on Amazon, he is not a bestseller. He's on like the charts. He's on certain charts and stuff. The charts are always change per read, but this week I guess he's all the way at number 8, which is not very good on this first time on the list. He just made it here, so he's 8 on the list coming in. That should have been higher. It's low on the scheme of things. When you go over there, he's a bestseller in some weird category. We saw it yesterday, but overall, he is not best-selling. He is selling as much as a salacious book will do. But how do you feel like Omid is feeling about these numbers, P. Dina? This can't be something he's excited about, given all the risk of getting arrested in the UK. Do you think he's happy with this turnout?
I mean, you would think with this controversy around this book that he would have to sell a lot more because he's looking at a lawsuit. I mean, he could really get sued, I believe, about these allegations. And this, I think it's going to come back that he definitely knew about this translation, not, or actually
error.
In the Dutch version. He knew that the names were in there. I think he has a lot of risk involved in this whole book now, and I think it's not going to do him well to see that he's not really making any money off of this book, considering he's going to have a pretty big legal bill, because this is something even the royal family talked about, possibly threatening to sue him for libel. I mean, you don't put this out there or even allow it to get out there and not have consequences to it. He's going to be hurting really bad.
Well, and the reviews of the book don't help him either, P. Dina, because a huge amount, 31% of 1-star reviews, very critical reviews. There's literally nothing new in this book. And these are verified purchases. These aren't like people who are just trolling him and not buying the book. You know what I mean? These are people who bought the book, paid for the book, left a review, and are crapping on it. Literally nothing in this book. Boring, too wordy. Anyone could summarize articles written in the newspapers about the last days of the Queen. They just go in there. Blackburn. Yawn from B. Blackburn. Yikes. Yeah. A dull, dry slog of a book, a complete waste of time. I found this much advertised book nothing more than an opinion of the author who absolutely no verifiable facts or evidence to back them up. Don't bother, unless you're an ardent fan of Harry and Meghan, don't waste your time or money to muddle through this incredibly boring book. The author is very clearly on Team Harry and obviously anti anything royal. Terrible. The worst book I've ever read in a long time. A complete whinge fest on the royals. It really feels like Harry and Meghan are feeding the narrative. Again, these are verified purchases. People who spent the money on the book, because that's how you get that. If Amazon, if it knows you bought it, they give you that stamp of approval and put those up so people can't just troll, which he'll say they are. You know what I mean? It's all just rehashed stories, garbage. I feel dirty reading it. Do these reviews surprise you? Did you attempt to read the book? What are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness, no. It's just rehashing of the same old, same old. I saw some excerpts from it, and talking about things about King Charles and ironing his shoelaces, and like that's supposed to be this big explosive like information, like, oh, how dare he do that? He's the king. I'm sure his life is going to be a whole lot different than how we live. So I don't see why he's trying to make a big deal out of this book and all these things that we've heard before. Like they were saying, they've been in other publications before. I think it's just a part of the narrative for Harry and Meghan to continue their negative dig at the royals to up their own brand. I don't know if you know about the connection though that Omid actually has to a very good friend of Meghan's, Marcus Anderson.
Hmm.
They were boyfriends. So Megan is good friends with Marcus Anderson, and he had a relationship, or still does, not sure, with Omid. So there's clearly a mutual friendship that Megan has to someone, Omid. So you look at that and you can't help but to see that this is a relationship that is feeding information to him. Why would they even try to distance themselves from each other? Omid came out and talked about how we're not friends. She's not a personal friend of mine, and Meghan and Harry are trying to say, I think, the same thing. But how can you look at the connection that you have to each other to make people believe that? I mean, this is clearly a relationship that has a connection,
Yes.
and we can see it. It's like the audacity of you trying to lie to us or to make us believe something. Do you
Hmm.
think we have stupid written over our foreheads?
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
it's
it's like
it's like the
exactly. It's like
audacity.
either own it, right? Own it, and like
Oh,
let us, because we know it, and we're not stupid. Or if you really aren't now friends with him anymore, and it's something that you don't actually encourage, then disavow it. It's so easy. Like they do that with everything else. They whine about everything else. For her to do this, I mean, and we talked about this, guys, over on our Popcorn Planet video. But yes, her stepping out with King Charles bracelet is acknowledging it, and she's clearly acknowledging the silence and trying to put it out there in her own way. That's how they do these things. But yeah, it's just gross.
yeah.
And it's interesting as I read more of these comments, it's like nobody's buying what Omid is shoveling. Sure, he's got an audience of sugars and people. He literally employed the sugars to promote this book, which
Right.
he's acknowledged are like terrorists. He doesn't
You
like
know,
them. He's disavowed them, but he was out there caught sort of giving them snippets first to help for the marketing. And
mhm.
that's who likes his book. That's who his audience is.
So
But it's
so
just,
let me ask you this though. If you think about the book sales are really low, so clearly he's not really making that much money on this. But who benefits from these racist allegations? Who benefits?
Meghan, right? I mean, to fill
Who
that
benefits?
narrative, to keep it going and try to,
Exactly. Megan benefits.
right?
So she's the one that is behind this,
Well, it's
and I
interesting. I think she thinks she was going to benefit because she was going to be
yeah,
victimized, right? And everyone's going to
yeah,
go, oh my God, get rid of the royals. You were right. But it seems the opposite's happened. They waited
yeah.
so
The
long. It's
opposite.
all been so stretched out. No one really seems to care anymore because there's no
Well,
evidence.
it's
And
going to hurt
it
her
clearly isn't
career.
racist. He wasn't racist.
He wasn't racist. I think the fact that she even married into the royal family shows that they are not racist. You would not even walk down the aisle with Harry if this family were racist. You wouldn't be given that opportunity. But the fact that she had the opportunity shows us that they're open to her being in the family. She just did not know how to behave herself. She acted and showed her butt. And now people are going to just turn out and really make her, I think, accountable for all these allegations, because that's something, it's very egregious to do something like that to this high profile family. And what is Harry saying about this happening to his family? I mean, this is all coming from his wife. I think it's definitely put a divide within their marriage. I think we're going to start seeing some things because Harry doesn't want his family to be labeled as a racist,
No,
and I think it's going to put a divide between their marriage, and it's coming soon. I'm telling you, the divorce is coming between these two because of what Megan. This is all spun by Megan in her rebranding of her career, which I've heard her agent is not very happy with her.
no, we
All
talked
this,
about that over here too. Yeah.
yeah, they're not
No, nobody. The
happy.
agent, the aides, they're all angry. And I was just trying to end with a review here of just what was so telling about some of these reviews as we're reading is just how I feel dirty reading it. The chapters are venomous and explore every nasty rumor from every corner of the internet gleefully in a way that invites the reader to believe they're probably true. There is this weirdness of Omid is doing exactly what Meghan and Harry said the royals were doing to them. It's this weird, like, but he's trying to do it with this, I'm better than them, and what we're doing is so important, and these are problematic racist issues that must be addressed. And it's like, dude, you're no better than the things you complain about. It makes no sense. This guy is a total scam artist. This book's not doing well, and it's encouraging to see that folks aren't buying it, and all this drama he's caused was probably for nothing. So good on him. Gross on them. I hope, we were saying the other day, I hope the translator sues, because we don't think the royals are going to sue. I've had experts, barristers have all come in. They're not going to do it, but the translator could. And if the translator did, we should encourage that. All of us should encourage it, because if she does, that could be justified, and it could open up a lot of discovery that, oh my goodness, I'd love to learn who really were the sources here. Final thoughts?
It implies that the translator did something, and I think it's going to hurt her branding, her translation business, because it is implying something that she did not do. So yeah, I think she should definitely sue. Somebody has to at some point do something to give them a smackdown, because I always talk about that on my channel. You got to smack down all of these negativity actions that are coming from this couple, because if you don't, it progresses, it gets worse, it gets bigger and more consequential. So hey, let's hope and root for the translator to come out and smack it down. Go out and
love it. Love it. And please, guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to P. Dina over on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Follow her. She's got lots of really good takes you're going to see. And you're here, but also go over to Popcorn Planet. Steph, the Alternate, the whole crew, they're all here as well on the bottom. So go subscribe. And P. Dina, please come back before the holidays. I'm going to be banking some content while I'm out. I'd love to have you back. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. Subscribe, guys. Hit the bell for alerts. Hit that like, thumbs up. And what do you think on all this? Are you surprised by the book sales? Are they higher than you thought? I want to hear all your thoughts down below, and stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Palace.